Welcome everybody to Funeral Nation episode 253. That's Jeff, the Funeral Commander Harbison. I'm Ryan Thogmartin, and we have some esteemed, special guests from Nfda. Go ahead, gentlemen. Introduce yourself. Anthony, we'll start with age before beauty.
Yeah, great. I'm Anthony Kaniuk. I'm the Director of Industry Relations for Nfda.
And I'm Gabe Schauf. I host the Nfda podcast, A Brush with Death. And at the convention, I host Nfda Live.
Woo! And that's what we're going to talk about today, the convention, the Super Bowl.
Nfda, we're in Super Bowl season, everyone. That's where everybody gets excited because this is the world's largest, greatest gathering of funeral professionals ever. And this year we're swooping into Maryland, the city of Baltimore. And I'm really looking forward to it myself because we've got great speakers. It's going to be wonderful to get back together again. And I think Nfda has done a wonderful job that we've got international folks that will be here with us here in the United States. And we had some jokes about that earlier, that we have people in the United States that seem like they're international foreigners, but they're not. I'll leave that alone so Anthony's friends don't attack me while I'm there. So anyway, we'll have a great time. Well, Gabe, let's start with you. You've got some other stuff going on. You've created a game show or a competition type thing, haven't you?
Yeah, this is a new thing we're doing this year. We're calling it the Nfda Funeral Face-Off, and it is a trivia contest where we're trying to bring a little competition into the convention scene now. So the way it's working is the first 2 days of convention, Monday and Tuesday, we're having some preliminary rounds, kind of bracket style tournament play going on. And it's all going to culminate to Wednesday morning when we actually have our championship round. And that's going to be broadcast live. We're hoping to get a nice full studio audience there to support the two teams that are left standing. That includes a Bloody Mary bar. So we're doing whatever we can to, pull some people into the seats there. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. We've had a handful of American Board of Funeral Service Education faculty come up with questions. We have everything ranging from ethics and law to embalming to cremation to psychology to funeral service practices. And we've put this all together into, like I said, a bracket style tournament. So it's teams of four that come together, going head to head, last two standing. And the winner gets $1,000, the winning team. They get their name engraved on what we have named the Precoa Cup. Being a hockey fan, I'm a big fan of the Stanley Cup. And that's what I respect about that is it's one trophy that the team gets for a year. And so we wanted to do the same thing. We created the Precoa Cup, and we will have the winning team's names engraved on there. And then that's going to be a continuation as we move forward from year to year. So they get to live in Precoa Cup immortality, $1,000, and some bragging rights for the next year. It's going to be a great event.
That sounds exciting and very creative. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys should sign up. Why don't you jump on there?
You know what? I was just thinking about it. I should be on there. However, I don't necessarily want to compete. I'm going to do like part of the Saturday Night Live skit.
Sure.
I want to be Burt Reynolds or somebody that answers stuff completely wrong, but really funny. I could be Angry Harold, the old-time funeral director.
We could try and make that work.
What do you mean? I was there when they wrote that class for embalming. Are you kidding? I helped embalm Lincoln, and you guys are absolutely wrong. Stuff like that. So think
Jeff
about
in the
that,
corner
Gabe.
going, yeah, I don't think that's right.
Glad to be a guest player, just for levity and buffoonery. I would put myself out there for that.
Maybe you could be a lifeline. If somebody doesn't know, you could be the lifeline.
There you go.
Yeah, I could be Angry Harold, the old funeral. Let me tell you, we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but wouldn't it be fun to have like some just totally contrarian nothing and just answer everything completely opposite? I hope you have HR questions too. Well, back in my day, we wouldn't do that.
That's right.
You just need to pull up your socks and learn how to mow the lawn correctly when you're an apprentice.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'll throw that out there if you want to, Gabe.
Yeah, maybe next year we'll work that in. We'll see. We'll see
Gabe's
what
like,
we can
I'm not
develop.
taking that on this year. Not a chance. Well, we'll do some of that as we get to go live out a little bit. We're blessed that Disrupt Media and the power behind Funeral Nation, our friends at C&J Financial, will have Funeral Nation Live, where we're going to do like we did last year with some interviews. And we're also going to go out amongst them, if you will, and do some recording to send in so people can see different booths and get to talk to vendors and kind of feel like they're actually part of the process here in Baltimore if you don't have the opportunity to go.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see the vendor side, because we have like almost over 350 vendors here this year. And what's really interesting is the technology side. We always talked about the technology side of things, and it's funny that now that the pandemic happened, I think it's like we talked about this last time, it kind of sped up the technology side of things. So a lot more is happening on the technology side of funeral directors embracing that. So we have a lot of vendors now that are utilizing those products and services in the technology field, which is great.
I agree with you. There's so many more people now with fax machines than there were before the pandemic.
Oh, it's been a blessing and a curse for sure. I don't know. I think you gentlemen have said it on this show multiple times in the past, but funeral homes are slow to adapt, and the pandemic definitely put us in a position where you need to adapt. You got to modify to continue to find your success. So it's kind of cool to now come to convention and see how that's all coming to light and how people are utilizing this technology, not just to get through a pandemic, but to find further success in their business.
Yeah. You know, Gabe, that was a wonderful thing, and you're exactly right. And what is astounding about our profession is that everyone stepped up. You know what? It wasn't like they couldn't do this, we won't. They actually, in some respect, were forced to, but knew they had to do it all along. So now that we're in the 20th century, yes, I know what I just said. Gabe's eyebrows. Yeah. You know, now that we're in the 20th century of funeral business, then just think what the possibilities are we can do for the future.
Yeah.
So I applaud our fellow brethren out there. Great job, y'all.
Well, that's what we looked at. We looked at that piece of education of this. You know, we have over 30, sessions on education, and they really go from technology to, management and others. So it's really good.
Awesome.
What about Anthony? Tell us about the keynote speakers. You guys have a great lineup of keynote speakers this year as well.
Yeah, we have one of the best, I think, in storytelling. Kendra Hall is going to be sponsored by Homesteaders Life, and she's going to talk to you about building that story. Why you need to build that story, and how important that story is. So I know we talk about that often in our profession about personal branding and telling your story. But again, it's not just telling your story of saying that we've been around since 1813. It's about what your brand and what the purpose is of that story. So she's going to go into that.
Absolutely. And that's, it's sort of transcended, Anthony. I mean, a funeral home in a local area, a lot of people do know the story, but we're in a transitional country where new people move in and out. And the only way to make that connection is to tell your story and for people to understand why you've been serving since Sherman burnt down the South, right? How did your family get there, and why is your family so passionate about continuing a generational business? Because having a third or fourth generation business today rarely survives. So we're fortunately in one of the professions where that's actually a little more the norm than unusual. And I'm looking forward to hear what she has to say.
Yeah, and on Tuesday, we have actually Dakota Meyer, sponsored by Carriage Services, which is right up your alley, Jeff. So, I mean, talking about leadership and, processes and all that stuff that goes along with being in the military and knowing what you need to do. I mean, he has a great story, too. So we'll be listening.
Hey, by the way, Gabe's a fellow vet up there.
Yeah.
Right, Gabe?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That's correct.
He is. Good man.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to talk to Dakota. We had a little keynote podcast preview or podcast preview of the keynotes, I guess I should say. And yeah, really excited when I got the chance to talk to Dakota. I've heard him speak before on other podcasts. I've seen him online with some different things, and just to be able to talk to him and hear from him, it's really cool. He does have an incredible story. I mean, how he got from where he was to what he's doing today is just, it's surreal. And I think there's a lot to learn from him too.
Yeah, he's also a Congressional of Honor winner recipient, correct?
Correct.
And I can't tell y'all the significance of what this man earned for that award, how highly he's regarded, especially amongst military folks, because we really understand. When I got back from Desert Storm, I was a young captain, and I had a new assignment to be an aide for a general. And I remember specifically talking to another aide of a 3-star general who outranked my general, okay? And I'm just learning about the job and everything. And I looked up, and his 3-star general was saluting. I'm thinking, oh my Lord, who in the world's walking by? Because you only salute people who's superior in rank. So who's the 4-star here? And I looked up, here comes an old gentleman, I'll never forget it, in an old brown suit that had the Congressional Medal of Honor on. And we honor those guys just like they're the highest ranking person on the planet. Everybody stopped stunned. I got goosebumps talking about it. You know, here's this guy came through, and he was a World War II Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. And this guy and those people are the best of the best. They did things for us and our country that most people would never even dream, much less survive. So having Dakota there is going to be a big treat, and we should all be honored and listen to what he has to say.
For sure.
Yes.
Awesome.
And then on Wednesday, we leave it off with an amazing story about a person who was burned, I think, over 90% of his body, John O'Leary, and his story, which is amazing story. And if you get to read any of his books, please read them. It's really unbelievable.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
So it sounds like Baltimore is going to be a good session. And, people, I think, are still wanting to get together. Nashville last year was the best. That opening party, it looked like a homecoming at a church or something. It was a fan reunion. Everyone was so happy to see each other. And I predict that'll be the same vibe we'll have in Baltimore.
Yeah, I think when you reconnect with your colleagues throughout the country and throughout the world, there's nothing better than that for anyone to talk about, increasing that importance of what that means, right? And this year with our party, it's kind of, we went with the 80s theme, and we went with a great band, the Reagan Years, which is going to be amazing in itself. And we want everybody to really, dress up, come in your best 80s outfit and enjoy yourself and really enjoy the time. And remember back from when you were a kid, if you were in the 80s, and hear about the music and all that stuff is really great.
Not to find
for all you
MC
young
Hammer
whippersnappers back then, yeah.
I got a challenge for you
kid
two,
in the
actually.
80s.
I think Ryan, you do a Marty McFly bit. Jeff, you could do a Doc Brown bit. You guys just walk around. I think, I'd pay money to see that.
I'll just wear it all to the golf outing that morning and keep it on for
just leave it on.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it's the same 80s dressing and golf. I mean, what's the difference between the two?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, guys. Anything else that you can think of? Is there anything to do that for people who don't have access or tickets now that they may want to jump on? I know there's some companies that are trying to get some out. So, Anthony, what do they want to do if they want to come?
Yeah, they can still go to our website
and haven't gotten here yet.
They can still go to our website, nfda.org, and actually go and register for the convention. And the people that did register, I would look out for the email, know before you go, so you get all the great information that you need to know. And everyone should download the app. The app is another great resource that we have that will tell you everything that's going on. And it's really great. And the other thing we actually have this year that we actually changed was we have a really interactive exhibit hall. So people can actually go now to the app and connect to the exhibit hall and see that, and they set up appointments now. They can see what vendors are there by category. They can, really get an idea of their own traffic flow themselves and know where they need to go, who need to meet, where they are. So I think it's really good and important to do that ahead of time, especially when you're new to the convention, because you guys know it's overwhelming when you come in there into that exhibit hall and you have 400, or over 350, 400, exhibitors. And this way, when you map out your time, you really get to meet the real people that you really need to meet and really cover everything.
That's right.
Good.
And if you can't make it there's so many social activities going on, including the famous C&J cigar soiree, which is on Tuesday night.
Soiree.
And if you haven't, soiree. Ryan, you want to tell the story about your attendance last year?
Don't wear your best outfit because you're going to have to dry clean it 14 times to get the smell out. But it was a fantastic, it was some of the best networking that I've been able to do at any event. But that cigar party happens off the back of Nfda drawing such a great crowd of high level people, and then C&J putting them all in one room, which is great.
Yeah, it was funny. Last year, I invited Ryan to come knowing he's not a cigar guy. And I told him, just come up and fellowship with folks a little bit, and did. I give it to you. Thank you. But then he goes back to his hotel and his wife and girls were in the room. He opens the door, walks in. All of them sit up in the bed like, what is that?
Yeah.
So you booked another room this year. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, no, my wife just said I'm leaving on Tuesday. So,
Nice.
We're not spreading any rumors about us, but he's staying with me. I'm just saying.
Well, I want to do I didn't want to miss, of course, mentioning Nfda Live. You two are sponsoring that, and we're very, very grateful for that. So Nfda Live is going to be set up just outside of Nfda Central this year. We have a full schedule. We have a guest list all lined up, and that's on the convention website. My goal is to get butts and seats. So we did that through this great lineup. And just like Anthony said, in planning ahead, I want to encourage everybody, check out the schedule, look at who we have coming up, and plot some times to grab a cup of coffee, put your feet up and check out who we have talking. We're going to have embalmers on there, restorative art people on there, book authors, educators, dogs, Funeral Service Foundation folks, marketing.
You'll have the two of us.
The two of you will be there 1 hour a day as well.
Country club adjacent as people come in.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you guys, you need to, if you're coming to NFDA, dress appropriately. If not, if you haven't seen Country Club Adjacent, I promise you'll appreciate what's getting ready to happen.
Jeff and I have a text thread that is he's got more one-line zingers than the internet can handle.
Yeah, I'll make Ron White look like a kindergarten school teacher.
There you go.
and for the funeral directors that use this as a vacation and bring their family, and the family doesn't come to the exhibit hall or go, we do have some great tours too for those people that don't come to the exhibit hall and educational sessions. So, there's a ghost tour. There's a Guinness brewery. So there's some really good tours for them people to go on too, so they can have a good time.
Excellent.
Baltimore is an interesting city. We'll be in the inner harbor area, and folks, you're planning ahead now. Make sure and go get some crabs. If you like crabs and you're in Baltimore and you don't get any, you've missed out. Absolutely famous for it.
Yeah, and Anthony, is Monday still going to be Breast Cancer Awareness Day? I think
Yes. Monday, wear your pink. It will be breast cancer awareness, so everyone needs to wear pink. I will be in my pink shirt as well, so everyone needs to please support that, please.
I got brand new pink shoes just for NFDA. It's going to be great.
Nice.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay,
Right.
Gentlemen. Well, we are super excited. We always get excited, Jeff and I do, about NFDA. So does the rest of the profession. It's exciting to be back together again. This is the Super Bowl, the main event, all the things. And I know you guys work tirelessly 12 months out of the year to put this thing on. So thank you for that. Thank you for your dedication to the profession, for making it as valuable as absolutely possible. And we look forward to seeing both of you and all of you watching in Baltimore October 10th, 11th, and 12th.
That's
Beautiful.
it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
and
you.
look, and when we're there, if you see Ryan and I, make sure and yell at us, because we'll certainly have a camera or something, and we'd love to talk to you and talk about your outfit at the same time.
That's right. That's right. All right, gentlemen. Until next time, have a great effing week.
Y'all
You
take
too.
care. Thanks
Have
for
a good
being
one.
here.